citizens who have continued to abide by the existing presidential guidelines on the prevention of COVID-19, because of your obedience towards social distancing, washing hands with soap, and keeping at home, Uganda, we have been successful in managing and also preventing the spread of the outbreak in the communities. Yesterday, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, provided the country with a detailed plan that is going to be followed as the country starts on its journey towards opening and also normalizing. I want to use this time again to highlight some of the key aspects in the President's address of yesterday. He said 6 and above will be required to put on a face mask every time they leave their homes into the public, and the Ministry of Health will be providing guidelines for the recommended masks to enable even private people who can be in position to provide to produce these masks, as long as they follow the specifications and guidelines from the Ministry of Health. Government will also continue its plans of producing masks, and they will be made available to everyone through the existing local administrative structures. And all shops that sell general merchandise and hotels of any kind will be allowed to resume business on the 25th of May, 2020. Public transport such as buses, taxis will be allowed to resume operation on the 4th of June, 2020. However, all public transport vehicles will be expected to carry half of their normal passenger numbers, putting emphasis on social distancing and wearing of masks. Owners of private cars will be allowed to start using them on the 26th of May, 2020. However, the private cars can only carry a maximum of 3 people, including the driver, when they resume on the 26th. The Ministry of Education is also expected to come up with a work plan that will inform the reopening of the schools on the 4th of June 2020. However, the night curfew from 7 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. will remain unchanged as of now. Uganda, where these changes will not be applied yet because of the dangers that still exist within those areas, being high-risk areas. And some of those areas are the border districts, the 40 border districts, if you all recall. Even taxis and public transport in all the border areas will not operate. Finally, I want to emphasize that all sectors, such as public transport, shops, hotels, that will be resuming soon, will be expected to follow the strict guidelines on using face masks, social distancing, and sanitizing with soap. There will not be any relaxation of any of these as we continue to return to normalcy. I once again, because this is a war, we are in this together, so we want their support. And the phases we are now going into, we will expect members of the public to be interacting quite oftenly with us, to give us feedback on how they are finding the guidelines put in place, but also contributing to the implementation of the guidelines set up by government. The use of masks, we would encourage each and every one to use a mask. We have moved around the city. We have seen that compliance is still a little low. So we are urging Ugandans to use masks wherever they are moving in public places. And let it be part of us. Let us not wait for security to enforce this. I believe if it becomes part of us and we embrace it, then we shall police ourselves as communities. So I want to urge you, members of the public, please embrace use of masks. It is for your own safety, not any other person. For your own safety, for your own protection, for your own good. And that's why you should abide and do it willingly with a lot of love, because it has been put in place to help you be protected. With those few remarks, allow our society. We usually move with our faces seen, we smile. But this disease called COVID has brought a new normal. We are trying to find the safest way in which the population can start to do economic activities. And we have looked at many tools that are available, because if you remember, the president locked down the country. The virus was not yet here, but we were to prepare the people so that even when the virus comes, the people will be safe. So one of the tools that we have to use is the mask. I'm sure that many of you don't feel comfortable with the mask. Even me, I'm getting used, but now I know why I have to use a mask. And I'm going to use my mask when I talk so that people get used to listening when we talk with a mask. Now, why do we have to put on masks? Masks have been used by mostly medical people and maybe people of evil intent who don't want you to recognize them. But now masks are a medical tool. They are here to protect us. We have 3 types of masks, 3. We have the most restrictive one, which they call the N95. Unfortunately, I don't have one. Is that an N95? No, it's not. Now that mask, the masks carry out 2 things. One, they block access of the air directly to your skin and the things that we have, which enable entry of germs. The other thing the masks do is they control what comes out of you to go out. So the first category of mask, the N95, it blocks whatever comes out and allows you to breathe through just a small piece, which has a filter, and that filter blocks out 95% of all the germs that would reach you. Now, those masks are for medical people. They are used when the environment where you are is heavily contaminated, and they are difficult to breathe through. Many people, when we try, they are difficult to breathe through. So we are leaving those masks for the medical people. The other type of mask is the surgical mask, this one here. Now this mask has 2 layers. It has just one which is like a fabric. Then it has one side which has a filter. That filter is not as good as the other one, but if you are just walking in the normal air, it will be good enough. But the filter is mostly made to protect the other person. They are called surgical masks because they help to protect the patient who is being operated from infection coming from the people who are doing the operation. Now, the issue with these masks is that you should use it once and throw it away. You should not keep wearing it. Now, that is going to bring problems for us. One, they're expensive for you to use every day and throw away. And 2, when people start throwing them away, other people
keep picking them and reusing them. And that's not good. They are not washable. You cannot clean this mask. So the mask that we are promoting, that we are talking about, because they will end up just harming the people. It's not because you can afford. It's just that it is not for anybody who is not in the hospital. Even health workers, after work, if they are going home, they will not wear this mask or this mask. They will wear the fabric mask. So once you are out in the public, do not wear the N95. This is the surgical mask. This is very common now. You see many people wearing them. We were wearing them because we did not have the common person's mask. But now that we are getting good masks that are used by the community, the only reason I'm showing you this is so that you know what not to use. Do not use the N95 or the surgical mask. What should you use? Use the fabric masks. You can see the one I'm putting on. You can see these, they are different designs. You can see this is another design. And I have given you some of the qualities. These are the type of masks all of us, even if you're a doctor, after work, after you are leaving the hospital going home, you will put on a fabric mask, not a surgical or N95. Those ones should stay in the hospital and in the health facilities. I hope that is clear. Then, and NDA are coming out with 5 points that describe a good mask. I have given you some of them. One, it should be, the fabric should be mostly cotton. When they could mix in a bit of polyester, but if you go to nylon and they restrict the breathing so much that you start to struggle. So the good fabric is cotton. Then it should have it should be 2 fabric, not 1 line, sorry. Why should we have 2? Because you need to have a pocket where you are going to put your filter. And the double gives more protection because you already have 2 layers. It keeps out a lot of things. Okay? 3, the mask should be able to cover your nose and your mouth and go up to the chin. I saw some people wearing a mask which is barely covering the mouth. The mask should cover your chin and your nose and should allow room for you to talk. If it is so tight, then I'm like, It should allow room for you to talk. For example, when I wear this one, there is room for me to speak without needing to remove the mask. Okay? So, any other questions? I think I'll do the demonstration. Okay, maybe there are other questions.
Okubeera nga bisumululwa. Si buli kimu nti kisumululwa, naye okusumululwa kuno kukolebwa okusinziira ku kuwabulwa kw'abasawo ne bannassaayansi. Mu ebyo omukulembeze w'eggwanga bye yagambye nti bijja kubeera nga biteebwa, yeeyogedde ku mmotoka za buyonjo, n'ayogera ne ku maduuka agatunda ebintu ebirala ebitali mmere. Ebintu ebyo yagambye nti bijja kusumululwa ng'ennaku z'omwezi 26. Ebbanga lino kalibawe okuteeka mu nkola ebyetaagisa. Jjukira COVID bulwadde bupya. Kitegeeza nti mu maduuka gye mukolera muyina okwetegeka mwetereeze. Obuyonjo bubeerewo, amazzi ne kasabbuuni, masks zibeerewo, ng'otunda otaddeko masiki, naye ate n'okulaba nti wabeerawo ebbanga, tonsemberera yadde otunda, walina okubeerawo ebbanga omuntu n'asobola okumanya nti tasemberedde munne okuba ng'afuna ekyo ky'ayagala. Enze ennaku tusuubira nti zijja kubayamba okutereeza ebyo byonna. Amaduuka ga keedi n'ag'amu moolo go gakyali masibe tegannasumululwa. Ne disitulikiti ez'ensalo eziri ku nsalo disitulikiti 40 omukulembeze w'eggwanga ze yayogeddeko nazo zikyali nsibe kubanga obulwadde bukyaliyo olw'ensalo n'abagoba b'ebimotoka bye babadde baleeta eno. Nazo zijja genda nga zitunuulirwa mpola era ng'abasawo ne bannasayansi bwe batunuulira biki ebigenda mu maaso. Omukulembeze w'eggwanga yagambye bannayuganda bajja kufuna masiki ez'obwereere, gavumenti ejja kuba ng'ebawa masiki. Naye ng'ate n'abakuba nti gavumenti ereeta masiki ezo at least yakkiriza abantu okuba nga basobola okufuna masiki. Naye si buli masiki nga bwe batusomesezza. Obukookolo obukkirizibwa bwebwe bujje tutaasa okufuna COVID. Abasawo bagenda kuvaayo n'ekiwandiiko ekiraga masiki entuufu erina kuba ng'efaanana etya, erina kubeera na bisaanyizo ki, naawe ogigule ng'omanyi nti ky'ogula kituufu. Kubanga kati buli muntu ayiiya, abaagala ssente bangi bali ku street bayiiya, naye ng'ate waliwo kye tulina okugenderera nti obulamu bulina okutaasibwa mu ngeri emu oba endala. Omukulembeze w'eggwanga